Let's go to design exercise 1.3. You have a thick wall tube. Its inner and outer radius are given. It's specified that it's made of polycarbonate. And now you want to apply a maximum torque without it yielding. Okay, so it's the same appendix B6, which deals with torsional loading. So the thing is, here it is a cylinder and actually you're looking for a tube. So that's the big difference. And so for a thick wall tube, if you look at appendix B6, the torsion, failure torsion is K times sigma y divided by 2R0. The K moment can be found from appendix B2 for a tube. And this equation itself was obtained from V6 as we had seen earlier. So you know the outer radius, you know the inner radius, you can determine the moment K. Now what is left is from appendix A5 you can get the yield strength for polycarbonate. It's about 65 megapascals. So then if you know the outer radius, you can get the torsion to failure. It's about 140 Newton meters. Let us move from here and look at some information in appendix B9 and see what kind of equations are present over there for different kinds of load situations. In this case, we are looking at a round bar and it has a notch. Okay. Sometimes when things are used, they get dinged and then failure is accelerated as a function of, as a result of that. At much lower loads than what you would normally have designed that particular bar for. Let's say that was a 1 millimeter notch that occurred deliberately or accidentally, and it has a root radius. It's made of low carbon steel, and so that yield strength is about 250 megapascals. You have an axial loading with the nominal stress, which is basically the axial load divided by the unnotched area. So what you want to know is what value of the nominal stress where will yield first commence at the root of the notch. Okay, so by root of the notch we mean, so here's your notch on a shaft and the radius over there at the root. This is the depth of the notch. This is your axial load F. Okay, and so if you look at appendix B9, you will see that the ratio of sigma max by sigma nominal is proportional to the C by R ratio. Okay, and the dependency is a square root. Sigma, if you rearrange this terms over here, the differential between sigma max and sigma nominal divided by sigma nominal is proportional to C by R, and that's the square root over there. Probably see that that is some version of Griffith's law, which indicates some nominal square root dependence for different kinds of notches. So where do we go from there? Think about that. So for a tension load, this proportionality alpha is about 2. If it was torsion, that number would be 0.5. So this particular one is from various aspects of plastic flow, fracture, fatigue, cracking. They all start at these kinds of holes, slots, changes in sections for elastic bodies. So if you knew that the maximum stress, which will be the yield stress, about 250 megapascals for this particular material, you will find out that if you put in the values for C and R and alpha, that the nominal stress is only about 12 megapascals. Right? It's about 5% of that natural strength of the material. So it basically says that stress concentrations can be brutally damaging. Cyclical stress of just plus or minus 12 megapascals can initiate a fatigue crack at the notch root and lead to fracture. Something to think about, okay, as we go forward. So we'll build off from these types of stories where we looked at a number of different properties, and we will examine that from single case of materials and what their properties are to families of materials. And so we look at property charts based on the content in chapter 4. So for instance, you look at this yield strength versus density plot. Okay. Metals are largely over here, foams are largely over here, polymers and ceramics are somewhere in between over here. Okay, so just gives you an idea. So see you then.